Discord.
We're listening to a Discord debate between Islamic Apex.
Oh, is this live right now?
It's live right now.
It's on Discord.
Yeah, because they don't go on. Agan doesn't go on TikTok.
Okay, wait, they're beginning.
Okay.
Yes, he knows all true propositions.
Okay, does your God exist?
Hello?
Oh
Hello?
my god.
My God, bro.
No one's deafening you.
Allah has no consciousness.
Why can I not hear him?
Islamic Apex.
Come on my panel and tell me
see?
what
You see that deceiver?
Yeah, man.
That
Come to my
deceiver.
Dude,
I can't
does your
hear
God
you.
exist?
You can't even answer this.
Oh,
You can't hear him.
Audit logs got sent in the chat. No one is deafening you or hearing you.
my
Audit
God.
logs in the chat.
Oh, audit logs? Dude, is this
Yes,
like,
we
what's
showed.
going on here?
Here, ping him. Everyone ping him. Everyone ping him.
What is happening?
Allah is sending him a strong deception to not hear.
Remember, we caught him. I asked him, can you hear me? He said, no, I can't hear you. He read my mind.
Can you verify that I can't hear him?
Oh my
Here we go.
Why can I not hear him?
Yeah.
Yo, this is so fake.
Dude, they're messaging him.
Yeah.
Probably
That's
telling
not a
him to
glitch.
get off
It's
the
not a
server.
glitch. You fell
Heard it
for it.
twice. The whole computer? Okay, I can't hear you. I'm gonna reset my computer right now.
You guys know what he's doing? Let me tell you.
Reset.
Let me tell you what he's doing, guys. He's doing this on purpose so that when I do upload this, I have to cut out all of this slot in
I can
between.
hear you now. I can hear you now.
Oh, no, he
Good,
didn't.
good. How convenient.
Wait, what do you
How
mean I'm doing it
convenient.
on purpose?
How convenient.
I have. Hey, listen. I have evidence.
Now that you hear me, wait. Now you hear me. Before you cut out, let's continue the argument.
That it's not.
Let's continue the argument. Let's continue the argument. Let's continue the
Hey,
argument.
listen. Hold on. Hey, that's a good idea. Here, I'm gonna go live on my computer. Fine.
Oh, what is he talking about?
I'm gonna go on my computer. Everyone gonna join me.
Why is it lagging? Oh my bad. Give me a second. It's lagging.
My phone.
Habibi, just fix your audio. Do whatever you want.
Alright.
Be here.
Alright,
We're all
I'll
waiting
do-
for you.
Okay, is it working for you now?
Astaghfirullah.
Yeah, no, it's not. Unfortunately.
The voice is not working too?
Yeah, I can't get it to work.
Arsenius, rise up. Let's get a mid-game interview before the game.
It's pre-game. It's not even mid-game. We can't even start. Yeah, it's now King Sylvia.
Yeah, this is like absolutely insane to me. We went through 2 hours just to get here, and now we're having audio issues. So
It took 2 questions, and he said, "No, I can't hear you."
we gotta
How did you
upgrade that
answer my
Wi-Fi.
question?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm getting flashbacks to the white boy showdown we had the other day. Carson left like in the middle of it.
Yeah, okay. Whenever it backs up, whenever it's back up, I'll put it back up.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty valid excuse.
Look at their cowardice. Look at their cowardice excuses, man. It's not working. Come to my panel. Come to my
Oh
panel.
my god.
Because they can't. Because the Muslims don't want him to be in the minority. It's insane.
If you see Apex debate somebody low tier, there's no lag. Soon as he's debating somebody that's gonna challenge him, oh my, bro, my computer. I need a new one.
All of a sudden, he has Windows 95.
All of a sudden, he hears the first premise of the argument, and then it stops working again.
He's got $1,000 set up with the microphone. He's having technical issues.
Dribbling in the comments.
What
Apex is backing out before the debate even starts.
Yeah, talk about cooked.
He's even got the golden mic out.
Aiden
Apex-
can't even put the Aiden can't even turn on the stove yet to cooking, bro. Like he's running bad.
Insight, I appreciate it.
This is bad.
I really want to
Wasn't
hear
he-
this, man.
Yeah, wasn't Apex meant to have a little bit of a debate with Darren today?
I'm not sure.
They're saying,
No, because they organised it
they're saying
yesterday.
he's back. They're saying he's back.
I gotta fix my settings. How do I make it word speaker?
I don't know.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness, this is all over the place.
Oh my god, bro.
It's painful, man.
Voice
They're
settings.
Muslims, man. What do you expect? They're Muslims. How are you going to defend the shin of Allah? No, seriously, Kate. How are you going to defend that rubbish? If I was a Muslim, I'd run the other way, dude.
Yeah, I would have been apostated if I was him.
How do I? Fuck.
Yeah, it really is
Does anybody
embarrassing.
know how I could put it on speaker?
You know what he said yesterday on Darren's live? Did you want me to play defensive? I can play defensive. Obviously, you can't, young Allah.
We're good. I got it.
Okay,
Okay.
there we go.
We're 5 minutes in, no
ready?
argument posed yet.
Yeah, go ahead.
From the top. Okay. Does God know everything?
Yes, God knows all propositions.
Okay. Was there ever a point in time where he was devoid of knowledge, or does he know everything from eternity?
No, God knows everything from eternity. But before we continue, I define know in this conversation as simply being aware of. This does not mean that
Good.
God affirms false propositions, but it means that he knows
I know.
false propositions. No, you don't. Let me finish. I just mean that God is aware of what false propositions are and their content, but he does not affirm false propositions.
That's fine. Okay. So God knows everything from all eternity. Does he know everything to its fullest detail, or are some details transcendent of his knowledge? So there's some things he could never know about a thing.
No, that's a metaphysical impossible.
Okay, good. So we can establish God knows everything from all eternity to the fullest extent that it is. He knows all the details about it. Good. Does he know everything that exists?
Whoa, Hagen.
And by that, is he aware of all propositions?
Everything, whether it be proposition, whether.
Wait, what is that?
Good.
Yes.
There.
Does God exist?
Yes.
So from all eternity, does God know himself to the fullest perfection? Every single attribute he has a perfect awareness of.
Yes.
So in that awareness, does God have a content of knowledge which is the perfect image of himself?
What does that mean?
This awareness that he now has an image of himself in his mind that he's aware of. That
What
is
is an
identical in
image?
everything.
What is an image? Sorry, I don't know what that means. Image.
Basically, it's something in his intellect that he has a full, complete awareness of.
Are you asking me, is he completely aware of himself?
Yes.
Yes, God is completely aware of himself.
And that would be a true content of his knowledge, right?
You mean a true proposition, sir?
Yes, but a content of his knowledge as
that's
well.
right.
It's an actual,
Yeah, that's yeah.
content of his knowledge.
Yeah, it's a true proposition that God is fully aware of himself, yes.
Okay. Is this self-awareness generated or ungenerated by an act of knowledge?
Self-awareness, is it generated
Yes.
or ungenerated?
Yes. Is it generated by his act of knowledge, or does he know it independently of his act of knowledge?
Wait, when you say self-awareness, are you picking out a property?
All of the attributes of God that he's aware of, everything, the essence and the attributes, everything. That awareness he has in his mind.
The properties, listen, I'm going to answer you, and also I don't even know what act of knowledge means. That's kind of gibberish to me, but when you say properties, I believe that all the essential properties are ungenerated and eternal, and I believe that the accidental properties are going to be accidental and uncreated and temporal. Is that clear?
That's fine. So now when he exercises his knowledge towards himself as his own object, he now has an awareness of himself. And this awareness of himself is a true content of his knowledge, meaning the divine essence, God knows it fully, so the divine essence exists in his mind with all of its attributes. Is that content of his knowledge generated by an act of knowledge, or is it independent of his act of knowledge?
No, it's not. Dude, knowledge isn't generated, right? Because he knows something. What he knows is not going to be generated.
Okay, is it the act of knowledge, him knowing that thing, is that thing's foundation in the knowledge itself, in his knowing introspectively?
Sorry, what is an act of knowledge? What the hell is that?
Basically, when you put your mind towards an object.
What? Telekinesis? What is this?
No, not telekinesis.
Whenever
Whenever you exercise your intellect towards a specific object to have an awareness of.
Do you mean to think about?
Yes.
So why don't you just say this?
When he thinks about himself, is this thought generated by his act of thinking?
When he knows himself, hey, listen, let me tell you something, okay? When God knows something, that's not an action, right? We don't say that God knows that I exist, therefore God exercises intellect to know me. That's gibberish and retarded, okay?
So does he know?
Go ahead. Listen. We're going to say that God, we don't believe God thinks. That's the first thing, right? We would say that God knows, right? So Allah, he knows that I exist. This is not like a generated thought, right? We would say that our thoughts are generated. We don't believe God has thoughts regardless.
That's fine. Okay. So this knowledge that he has of himself, let's forget the semantics, whether it's exercising or not. Is he actualizing in his knowledge a content which is the divine essence with all of its attributes?
That is retardation again, because we don't
Answer
believe
the question.
anything. We don't believe. Hey, listen, bro. Dude, that doesn't make any sense. You're asking
Answer
me
the
just
question.
listen, let me break down what you just said and tell me if it's correct, okay? You're saying the God's essence, the one that he's aware of, his own essence that he's aware of, right? Is that itself actualized?
Yes, by that action itself of knowing. Even forgetting the semantics. If you don't want to call it an action.
No, dude, we don't believe God's knowledge is something that which he actualizes.
Okay, does he realize it?
What does that mean?
Does it become a real aspect of reality by virtue of God's introspection?
Okay, so you're asking me for okay, look, I'll tell you. So if you mean by realization as in like it's a temporal affirmation,
I'm not temporal.
No, because that's what it sounds like. No, listen, to come to stop with your gibberish. I'm literally like
this isn't gibberish, you're not tracking.
No, listen, I am tracking. No, the problem is it's difficult to track when you gibberish, right? So I'm trying my best to make sense of what the heck you're saying. Okay? So no, God does not just come to realization of the knowledge of his essence because he's eternal, therefore he's known himself for eternity. Now,
good.
Please,
exactly.
do us a favor. Wait, do me a favor, Agan, and please give a formal argument so we can tackle this one by one, please. Thank you.
You're not even tracking. So here we go. This is, by the way, we are going one by one, by the way.
Can I get a formal argument?
Now that we're here,
are we going to get a formal argument? You're running.
Stop ducking. You're running.
So no formal argument?
We're going point by point. We're going point by point. I want to see if you deny these premises. I want to see if you deny these premises. Don't duck. Don't duck. Don't duck. When God knows himself, when he introspects himself from all eternity, I'm not saying it's temporal. I don't even want to use the semantics of an action. When he is realizing, it becomes a true part of reality that God is introspecting himself. This content of his knowledge in his mind, is it prior or posterior to his knowledge?
Sorry, is that a question or a premise?
It's a question. Answer.
So it's not a premise.
Answer.
Okay.
The way that you answer will turn it into a premise, which I can...
Listen.
Hold on, you listen.
Hey, no, I'm talking. Hey, no, listen. Let me answer
talking.
you, okay?
I'm not done.
Let me answer you. You asked the question. You asked the question. Is
it
part of
the reality? And then you asked to clarify. And then you asked to clarify. You asked to clarify.
Hey, listen.
You asked a clarifier about whether it's a question or a premise. The way that you answer, if it is the way I want it in my argument, I will make it a premise of my argument. If it's incorrect, then we keep breaking it down. That's the best way to move forward. So now that's in the picture. Can you answer? Is this knowledge that God has of himself, this awareness, which is the divine essence with all of its attributes, is it prior or posterior to his knowing?
And by prior, you mean?
It's independent of him knowing.
What do you mean independence of him knowing? What is that?
It's not founded. Him having the knowledge of himself is not founded in that knowing.
What do you mean?
No, not that it's eternal, that it's prior, logically prior to him knowing.
What do you mean?
Does God know something before he knows something? Do you hear yourself?
Exactly, that's the question. Say no.
No, that's
exactly.
gibberish. That doesn't... Dude, that's gibberish. Oh my God, stop gibberish.
If it's gibberish, you answer. I want you to say no. I want you to say no.
Answer? Are you a moron? Let me tell you something.
If you recognize it as gibberish because it has a plain answer, then you answer.
Let me finish. When you gibberish, you actually should not be expecting an answer. You were asking me, does God know something before he knows something? Are you slow? No, we don't say that God's knowledge... Let me finish. It's not fair. He's not letting me respond. He's not letting me
clarify. You asked me.
No. Let me finish. Stop talking while I'm talking. I let you talk, let me talk, okay?
Go ahead.
The question includes an answer that is gibberish. Does God know something before he knows something? That
wasn't the question. That wasn't the question. Does God have a knowledge? Listen how I phrased it. Listen how I phrased it.
Can you hold yourself?
You asked me. You just asked me.
Aiden, can you hold your tongue or not while I'm talking?
Hold up, Apex. I promise this is to move the convo. I promise this is to move the convo fruitfully. Listen.
You already lied at least 5 times.
Apex.
Hey, I'm talking. Let me finish.
Apex.
Let me finish.
Apex, because you asked me a question, whether or not that's what I said.
Again, I didn't ask you if that's what you said. Let me finish. You already answered.
You said.
You already answered.
Okay, go ahead. Fine. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, so insufferable, dude.
Go ahead.
Look, firstly, I need to disambiguate what knowledge is defined as. I'm defining knowledge as being aware of. We already agreed to this. Therefore, we should uphold it this way. Okay? Secondly, you asked me, does God knowing himself, is it posterior or logically prior to him knowing it? Okay? It's gibberish to say God knows something logically prior, which means...
Good, so the answer is no.
God knows something before he knows something, which you confirmed is what you're asking, and you actually agreed.
Here's how I specifically worded it. Does God have a knowledge of a thing prior to him knowing it? I agree. You can't say yes, that would be gibberish. You have to say no, correct?
Your gibberish, not the answer.
It's not gibberish. It's
Say
not gibberish.
no,
It's yes
bro.
or no. It's a true dichotomy.
Again, tell me what it means to know something before you know something.
That's the point. It's an impossibility, so you answer no. That's the point. That's why I asked that.
No, oh my gosh, you're
Hagen doesn't want him to
Hagen,
progress
when
his
somebody
point, bro.
asks you a
Oh, he's
question
such a
that is
coward.
gibberish, that is
He can't answer
It's
no.
not gibberish.
Yeah, because he knows where.
From a logical
Such a
contradiction,
coward,
or you
bro.
affirm the answer.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to bring Danny to moderate because I cannot stand you constantly interrupting my response.
Look at him, bro.
I don't
Go
wanna
ahead.
debate
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
fat ass calves.
So when you ask a question that is gibberish, okay, you are literally saying blah 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 blah. I'm not going to answer no. Why? Because the question doesn't even offer an answer. It doesn't even offer a dichotomy. You're just abusing language by inserting that as a dichotomy. There's nothing that inserts a dichotomy here. Your question is, does God know something before he knows something? The question's gibberish. That can't even be answered. Can you ask a cohesive or a
It can't be
coherent question?
answered? You can't, so the answer isn't no. You just busted yourself, so the answer isn't no.
Dude, Hagen.
Is the
you cannot
answer a clear no or not? Is the answer a clear no or not? You're busted. Is the answer a clear no or not? Answer. Is the answer a clear no or not?
Oh my gosh, your question's neither a no or a yes. Why? Because the question's gibberish. It's not coherent. Are you
Bro, he's so scared.
You just affirmed. It is not the case that God can have a knowledge before him knowing it. You just said you can't even answer no to that question.
Hagen, your question is gibberish. You asked me if God knows something before knowing something. That's a contradiction.
That's not how I worded it. That's exactly, so you can't say yes. So you can't say yes.
That is how you worded it.
No, I said this. Can God have a knowledge prior to an act of knowing? If the answer is no, then it has to be posterior to knowing, correct?
Posterior and meaning what? After?
Good, so the answer is no. So
No,
God has a knowledge.
No, I didn't even respond to you. When you say posterior, what do you mean?
That is logically posterior.
Oh,
It comes as a logical consequence, yes.
So
As a
God
logical
knows something-
consequence.
So God knows something after he knows something.
No, God knows something and he has a knowledge afterwards. Logically,
So
not
he knows
temporally.
something and he has knowledge afterwards?
Yes, he has a knowledge of that thing in which he is knowing.
But we wouldn't say that there's a temporal distinction, dude.
Exactly, hence it's logical. Logical priority.
No. Oh my gosh. It's
You know
not
what logical priority is?
That's a false dichotomy. I don't believe
What?
that it's logically, yes, it's a false dichotomy. I don't believe that there's a temporal distinction between God coming to
I didn't
know
say
something
temporal.
and
Bro, he literally said not temporal.
You know what,
Holy shit.
you know what logical...
Hey, again, are you gonna let me finish?
Go
Are
ahead.
you gonna let me
Go ahead.
finish? Thank you.
This is
Your
bad.
answers are false. It's a false dichotomy. Why? Because we don't believe that there's a temporal distinction between God
Did I just-
coming to knowledge of something and then knowing it. All right? So
I
please,
just said it's not temporal.
Dude, what are you talking about? We believe that God affirms temporal propositions. That's the whole point.
Okay,
Right?
okay,
So,
cool,
with that
cool.
being said,
So
with that being said-
can God have a knowledge of a thing prior to him knowing it? The answer is no, correct. So he has to have it logically posterior. He knows a thing after he exercises agency to know that specific thing. That
Wait,
content
so-
of his knowledge is after that knowing.
So wait, let me clear this up. So you're saying T1, God is exercising
No,
his
I
intellect.
didn't answer. No, not T1. I'm talking about logical priority. I'm not talking about temporality.
Dude, listen, bro. Logical. Dude, you just said posterior. You just said, look, we agree that God does not know something before he knows something. That doesn't make any sense.
God doesn't have a knowledge
He can't even put his words
exercises
together.
knowing that specific thing.
What
He
is
can't have a knowledge.
How are you
Does
defining
God?
knowledge?
Okay, a knowledge of X, having an awareness of X.
Having awareness of X comes before knowing
Yes.
it?
Yes, that the answer is no, right? The answer would be no.
Dude, we believe that God, once he's aware, dude, we don't believe that there comes a time that God is aware of something, right? We would
I
say
know.
that, for example,
I'm not talking about a time. I'm not talking about a time. I'm talking about logical, prior, and posterior. Logically prior, he exercises knowing a specific object.
It's neither.
Logically posterior, he has a knowledge of that object. Do you see how that follows through?
Yeah, but that's not what posterior is. I'm gonna say it's a false dichotomy.
How? Okay,
You,
so it's...
you want the intermediate?
Hold on.
I'm gonna give you the intermediate.
To make this clear. he does not have a knowledge of an object logically posterior to him exercising knowledge towards it.
No, because we're going to say that it's actually logically simultaneous. Therefore, it's negating both options that which you asserted as options. So therefore,
Okay.
your question is a false dichotomy. We don't believe that God.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not done, Hagen. I'm still waiting for the syllogism, but we're not going to do it anyway because we don't want to do it. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So we're going to say that it's neither logically posterior nor logically prior. We're going to say that it's logically simultaneous because what you're saying it entails a delay between the knowledge and the exercise of the intellect.
Okay, is the simultaneous to the content which is produced from the exercise of the intellect?
Do you mean, is there a difference between, or is it simultaneous between God, or God exercising his intellect and God knowing that thing?
Having a content of knowledge versus the exercise of
knowing
intellect.
it, right? Knowing it?
Yes.
Do me a favor,
knowing versus the known. Is the known thing prior or posterior to the knowing?
I already answered. I told you it's neither. I told you that it's logically simultaneous.
Okay. Good.
Okay, so Aiken, what does it mean to exercise your knowledge?
Hold on.
I'm asking a clarifier. What does it mean what does it mean when you say to exercise the intellect?
Meaning you have some capacity of intellect and you want its telos to be a specific object.
Wait, can you repeat that?
You have an exercise of intellect, right? You have a capacity of intellect. You want to relate it to some object, to some telos. That's going to be the end of your act of knowing. You want to know that specific thing.
I don't believe God has an by the way, that's kind of tautological. I don't believe that God has an innumerable capacity of knowledge. I think that's gibberish. I don't believe God's knowledge is innumerable. Do you understand?
I didn't say that it's innumerable. Does he have?
No. But you said I think that God's knowledge, the capacity of it is innumerable.
Do you know what I mean by capacity? Do you know what I mean by capacity?
Let me finish. I'm going off the... Wait, chat, you guys can't hear Agan well?
Do you know what I mean by capacity?
Oh my god.
Can you guys hear him?
Oh my god.
Hold on, one second.
Apex.
Apex.
One
That
second.
has nothing to do with anything. Who cares about the chat?
Go ahead.
Okay, Apex. Do you know what I mean by capacity? By capacity, all I mean is that God has the possibility, and it's always going to be necessarily actualized, I agree with you. He has the possibility to know certain things. Do you affirm God has the possibility to know certain things, or is it an impossibility?
No, yes, of course, he has possibility.
Okay, that's all I mean by capacity. So God exercises that act. Is the content of knowledge, the effects now, right? Is the contents of those knowledge going to be as an effect of the exercise of his intellect?
I don't know, dude. It's all gibberish when you say to exercise the intellect. I don't believe that's an act. I don't even know what that is.
It means you move your intellect towards the telos of a specific object. You desire to know a specific thing. Is the desire to know a thing different than the thing being known?
Dude, we don't believe that God, he directs his knowledge to the telos or this thing, and then he's thinking of it. No.
So God doesn't know things. So God doesn't want to know things.
That's a straw man. That doesn't follow. Listen, that doesn't follow. Okay.
Does God want to know things?
We're gonna say that God is aware of all things at all times simultaneously. Okay,
that's fine.
He does not. His knowledge is not directed this way sometime and then this way sometime. Therefore,
that's not what I'm arguing.
The concept of
that's not what I'm arguing. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm not saying he decides to know this and decides to know that. I'm granting this is eternal. It's necessary in all possible worlds. God is going to know things. Does he move his knowledge towards specific things that are different from each other, or does he know things all the same way involuntarily?
Okay. Are you asking me, does God know that there's a distinction between all the particulars that which exist?
Is he okay with knowing a difference between different objects? Does he exercise his knowledge towards different objects?
Okay, and I'm just going to clarify, and by that do you mean that God knows that every single instantiation of a universal, which is a particular, there are distinctions between them and they are discernible, therefore God knows that they're different and they're not one and the same.
And not just that, he knows them as they are different. They are different objects of his knowledge.
Yes, God knows that there's a difference between my water bottle and myself.
Is the content which is produced from that action of knowing different objects, is that content...
That's not an action. That's not an action.
Okay, is moving your intellect towards a telos different from moving it towards telos that's distinct and discernible from that first telos? Are those discernible?
God does not do that.
God doesn't know different things?
Dude, when you say move, you look at it's such ambiguous and vague language that I have to unpack
Then
it
ask
for
me
you,
to clarify.
okay?
Ask me to clarify.
Dude, but the problem is every time I ask you to clarify, you fail and you just become tautological again. So, Agan, please clarify what the heck it means to
I'll
move
explain.
your intellect.
Can you agree there is knowing and there are things which are known?
Yeah, for example,
Is knowing
I am
active?
known.
Is God's knowing active?
What does that even mean?
Is God's knowing active or is it potent?
Is it? Oh, so are you acting? Yes, of course it's active.
Okay, God's knowing. Okay, now that we agree that it's active, is the effect and content produced by that active knowing, the things which are known, is that which is known distinct from what is knowing?
Yeah, I believe that which is known is not necessarily that which is knowing.
Good, good. So knowing is distinct from known. Now that God has his divine essence as that which is known, and it comes posterior to the knowing, then the divine essence is being contained by another which is logically prior, the knowing. Hence it would be generated in ab alio as it has its foundation in another, and thus the divine essence exists in two distinct modes of existence. You just conceded the Trinity. Thank you very much.
Okay, watch this.
Refute-
Give the syllogism.
refute
Watch
that.
this, watch this. Give the syllogism.
Refute
Give the
that.
syllogism.
Refute that.
Give the syllogism. No.
Do you have a refutation?
No. Give the syllogism right now.
Do you have a refutation?
Give the syllogism.
Premise one. Watch. Premise one. God knows things from
Can I type it
eternity.
down? Wait. Can I type it down?
You can. You're fine.
Can I type it down?
Once the argument came out, you want it formalized, so now you can argue about whether or not it has a valid inference rule, and you're going to try and apply a valid syntax, etc., etc. You don't have a defeater. Don't waste my time, but I'll do it either way. Type around all you want. I'll do it right now. If your fingers can keep up.
Give the syllogism.
If your fingers can keep up. Premise one. God knows things. I'm giving you. Premise one. God knows things from all eternity, perfectly knowing them. He knows them exercising that active knowing. He knows them as distinct telos of objects. After that, because he knows it from all eternity, and he knows all things which exist, he himself is the thing which exists. Hold on. You can type them up and regiment them. You can type it up. You can type it up. You can type it up.
Allahu alam.
That's not my issue. You're the one who wants it. You're the one who wants it in a formal language. You're welcome to do that with your own fingers. I'm giving you the premises. I'm giving you the premises. I'm giving you the premises. If you wanna, okay, you can regiment them as you want. You can regiment them as you want. You should have the capacity to know. You should have the capacity to know when I'm giving a different proposition. But I'll do it again. I'll start from the top.
Manifesting.
And slow it down for
Holy.
you. We begin with the premise: God knows things from all eternity, and from all eternity, He has a full and complete knowledge of all things.
Got two propositions.
Hold on. They're regimented. If you know it's two premises.
You know how to make a categorical syllogism?
If you know it's two premises.
Two propositions.
Watch this.
Do you understand that?
Apex, did I begin with saying premise one? I'm letting you regiment it for yourself. If you know how to distinguish
I'm not going to
premise one,
regiment
premise
it.
two,
It's
do
not
it.
a formal syllogism. Give me a formal syllogism.
Fine. I'll be nice and regiment it. Hold on. Fine. Because you're too slow to track. I'll regiment it for you. Premise one, God knows all things. Premise two, He knows all things perfectly. Premise three, those things which He knows perfectly, He knows them from all eternity, even with their fullest details. Premise four, God knows all things which exist. Premise five, God exists. Premise six, the active knowing is distinguished from the content of knowledge which is known.
Sorry, what's the inference rule here?
I'm not done to give the inference rule. I didn't give a conclusion yet. Hold on. Stop panicking. Stop panicking. Do you deny any premise so far?
I think that
Do you deny any premise so far?
The premises you're adding are tautological, meaning they're redundant.
If they're tautological, then you already know that it follows. Why do you care about the inference rule? Do you know what a tautology
Are
is?
you okay? Are you
What's a
okay? When I say
tautology?
tautology,
What's a tautology? What's a
I'm telling
tautology?
you right
Define
now.
it.
I'm telling
Go
you.
ahead.
When I'm saying tautology, it's essentially it being trivial. You are literally saying the same thing twice. So
That's not what a tautology is. Hold on. Yeah, that part was. What's a tautology? Say it again. Say it again.
Zoom in and start from premise one and read it again.
This is going to be the fifth time I'm repeating it. This is going to be the fifth. This is going to be the fifth time I'm repeating it.
You already know the inference rule.
You define. Watch this. You define the tautology. Hold on. Hold
What's
on.
premise
Stop
one?
panicking. Stop panicking.
What's premise
Hold
one?
on. You made a big blunder. You made a big
What's
blunder. You made a big
What's
blunder.
premise one?
Stop
What's
panicking.
premise one?
Relax. Take a
What's
deep
premise
breath.
one?
I'll
You're
do it
getting
with
deep
you.
fried. What's premise one?
I'll do it with you.
What's
Take a deep
premise
breath.
one?
Take a deep breath.
I'm
Take
waiting
a
for
deep
premise
breath.
one.
Take a deep breath.
You have premise one?
Take a deep breath. Take a deep.
You
You're
have
the one
premise one.
panicking. I'm about to say something. You're not letting me say it.
No,
I'm gonna show you how you blundered. I'm gonna show you how you blundered. You conceded that I made it. Hold on. It was from your mouth that you said I made a tautology, and then you defined a tautology. Stop. And then you defined a tautology as me and then you defined a tautology as me restating the same thing twice. So if you already agreed with the prior premises, and I'm stating the same thing twice, why are you asking for an inference rule if you already agree with it and you think it follows through?
Sir.
Answer the question.
I believe that you're still. I'm answering you, dumbass. Your syllogism, it is not going to be sound because firstly, there's no available inference rule. Therefore, it's unsound already.
Well, I didn't finish my premise. I didn't finish my premises.
Let me finish.
I didn't finish my premises.
Let me finish. Secondly, your syllogism in itself, it actually has two premises that which are almost identical. Okay, so we need to have the inference rule regardless. You should know it regardless of where you are in the syllogism.
You said they're tautologies. Now you said they're discernible.
I'm not done. All right, Anthony, start from premise one and continue on, Anthony.
We'll do it again. All right, Anthony. This is going to be the fifth time I'll repeat it.
Go ahead.
Premise 1, God knows all things. Premise 2, He knows all things. Now with the caveat, the qualifier, that it's from all eternity, and He knows all things to their fullest detail. Okay, you with me so far? You agree with me so far? Okay.
Yeah.
Premise 3, we can now say God's, or let me restart because there's something I missed.
Oh, you're going to restart?
Premise 1, hold on,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, so
You already wanted me to restart either way.
Because Anthony does not know how to read a syllogism.
Hold on. It's because I don't want you to complain it's about tautology.
Anthony does not know how to read a syllogism.
Hold on. Premise 1,
Hold on.
God knows all things.
You're so sweet and soft right now, bro. Your tone is down. You don't know what the premises or no? Read the syllogism. You're the Lord and Savior, and I'm begging you.
I'm saying it from my mind. That's why I want to make sure
That's your
there's no
problem. I'm
complaints.
sorry.
Hold on. Premise 1, God knows all things from all eternity. We agree with that. Premise 2, He knows all things to their fullest extent.
Tell me the
Premise
difference
3?
between premise 1 and premise 2, right now.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Premise 1 is just saying that He knows all things, but it could be defined in different ways. Premise 2 is not adding
What are you
that.
talking about?
Premise,
Oh
yes,
my
yes, because
What are
someone
you
can
talking
argue.
about?
Someone can argue. Someone can argue. Hold on, I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you why it's not the same premise. I'm about to show you why it's not the same premise. I'm about to show you why it's not the same premise. Because someone can say God has a general knowledge of all things. So premise 2 is to make sure. Hold
Man,
on.
this guy is unbearable. Holy shit.
That's not a generality.
Hold on.
That's a specification of all things.
Hold
Don't
on.
interpret it that way.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Someone can argue.
This is so interesting.
Someone can argue that he has a general knowledge. Someone can argue as a general knowledge of all things.
Nobody interprets
That's why-
all as general.
Someone can. Which is why that premise 2 is there.
Nobody does that, sir. That's just your deficient intellect. When you think God knows all things, this means that there is not something that He
Hold
doesn't
on.
know.
So people who say that are deficient. People who say are deficient because Dean Response told me that. Let's continue.
Oh my God!
I have the clip of it. I have the clip of it. I have the clip of it. But, okay, I'll continue. I'll make the premise better. I'll make the premise better.
In response, never said. That's all saying.
I'll show you. I'll show you. Mark my words. I'll show you after this. Premise 1.
Doesn't matter.
Premise 1, because you don't have a defeater yet, but I'll continue. Premise 1.
Defeater for what? The first two premises that I agree with?
You'll see. I listed much more than that, and then you said it was a tautology, and then you said they were discernible.
Okay.
So let's continue.
Okay.
Premise 1, God knows all things from eternity to their fullest extent. Is that good for you?
Yeah. So God knows all things. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Premise 2, God exists because we define things.
He changed it.
Hold on. Because I combined them in one because you complained.
He knows he fucked up. He knows his blunder.
No, I'm doing it for your sake.
I love how you fixed up like a good boy. Right there.
I'm trying to be charitable to you. Watch your rhetoric.
Right there.
You're the one who complained. You're the one who complained that the first premise just means the same as the second.
Yeah. Premise 2 God exists. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're getting baked. Okay.
So far, let me do a first conclusion, and then we can say by conjunction. Hold on. We can say by conjunction, because you already said You already said that knowing all things is completely knowing all the specific of all things. We can now say as a conclusion, we can now say, look, you don't even want to debate the argument anymore. You don't want to debate the argument anymore. So this just looks bad on you, considering you've never given a defeater yet. You've never given a defeater yet.
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead, Anthony. Go. Yeah,
So,
Anthony,
so
go.
can we agree as a conclusion that validly follows by conjunction that because all things contains all things and God is a thing that exists, that God knows himself? Okay. Now let's continue with the next premise. I said 2, so let me continue with 3. 3. The act of knowing is distinguished from the content of knowledge. Do we agree with that premise?
Not necessarily, and I'll tell you exactly why.
Oh, I have you on clip agreeing.
Yeah.
No.
But I'm going to qualify here what I meant, okay?
Go ahead.
That the act of knowing, listen, the act of knowing it's literally every time it is going to be distinct from the knower, except when it comes to God. Why? Because we understand that God, he knows himself. So therefore, he's the knower, and he's the content that which he is knowing.
Exactly. But is knower distinct from known?
Knower is distinct from known depending on who the reference is.
Good. Depending on who the referent is, that's special pleading. What's the argument for that?
Pleading?
What's the argument for that?
Yeah, I'll give you the argument. First, you can even tell me why special pleading. You just asserted that. That's the fallacy indicating that
You're saying because God. You're saying because God. Hold on.
I'm responding to you. I'm responding to you. Stop talking while I'm talking.
You didn't. You said something completely different. You now shifted it to me.
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Potato. Let me finish, Anthony. So we would say that the knower is going to be distinct from the content of which is that is known, and I'll give you an example. For example, it doesn't apply to God. Right? It doesn't apply to me. It doesn't apply to you. Why? Because I know myself. Who is the knower? Me. What is the content that is being known? Me. Therefore, they are identical. They're absolutely identical. Anthony, there's no distinction.
Hold on. If they're absolutely identical, but you already gave a discernibility between knowing and known. Hold on. You busted yourself. You busted yourself.
I can't even have a conversation with them without interrupting.
You busted yourself.
You're being insufferable. This is why no one comes to your Discord for this very reason, because you're not
backtracking. Go ahead.
Continue. While I'm talking.
Continue.
Okay. I don't know why I have to talk to you like a dog. Stop talking.
Hold on. Continue. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Don't panic.
Thank you. So the knower, and the content that is found within what is known, they can be identical depending on what you're talking about. Okay, Anthony? And I'll give you an example. Islamic Apex. He is a knower. Islamic Apex knows Islamic Apex. Islamic Apex is what is being known as well, and he is the knower. Therefore, this entails that Islamic Apex is identical to Islamic Apex. Therefore, the knower and what is known within the content is actually in itself the same in the specific context.
Watch this.
I'm not done. This applies to God.
Okay, Go ahead.
This applies to anything that which knows itself. Do you understand? And I do reject that premise.
Good. Watch this. Number 1, you said that they're absolutely identical, but you applied already. We have you on clip saying it. You applied a discernibility. You said there's a distinction between knowing and known. That's the first thing. Secondly, in Anas, when you know yourself, you don't know every detail of yourself. You don't know that you're knowing yourself to the fullest extent that you're knowing yourself. You can't have that proposition, Anas. You don't know everything about you. Do you know everything about yourself, Anas? Do you have a full concept of everything which configures you in every way? Yes or no?
Sorry, Egan. I don't think you tracked my answer, right?
Anas, answer. Anas, answer. Anas, answer. Anas, answer. Anas,
I'm answering your question. Stop talking. You asked, do I know myself fully? All right?
To the fullest extent.
By this you mean, do I know myself perfectly, meaning everything about myself? The answer is no. But this
then there's discernibility, and they're not absolutely identical. Then they're discernible, and they're not absolutely identical. You just cut yourself. So now you're special pleading because you applied it to God. You cut yourself. They're discernible. No, hold on. Now you're about to get exposed. You're about to get exposed. You're about to get exposed. It's done for you. It's done for you. It's done for you. You just applied discernibility. They can't be absolutely identical. So now that you already applied discernibility, now that you watch this. Now that you already applied, now that you already responded.
This is not fair. It's not letting you respond.
You already responded.
Let me respond.
That was exactly the question I asked. That was exactly the question I asked.
He's interrupting me because
There is no extra qualifier to that true dichotomy. You said a no.
Let me finish.
Okay,
Are you gonna let me
go ahead. Go ahead.
Shut your mouth and let me finish.
Go ahead.
Okay? It's very simple, Anthony. I'm gonna break it down, Anthony. Okay? This is exactly why this hypothetical, it can only be perfectly, or not this hypothetical, sorry, this concept, it is applied perfectly to God. Why? Because we know God knows exactly everything about himself. This is why I told you, let me finish. Let me finish.
Amen. That's why the Son has the same essence as the Father.
Let me finish. Are you going to let me finish?
Bingo. Go ahead.
That doesn't even follow, you're a dumbass. Let me finish.
It does, you'll see.
God, they're going to say that God
He's seething, bro.
to perfection, meaning that he knows himself exactly how he is in reality. Therefore, here we can understand and agree that the knower and what is known is absolutely identical. And why did I bring?
Then why did you apply distinction?
I'm not done. Oh my gosh! Let me finish.
You applied distinction. You applied sameness and distinction.
I gotta respond to that. Let me finish. What's wrong with you? You interrupted. How am I going to?
Go ahead.
Stop talking.
Go ahead.
Guys, panicking, bro. When I applied it to humans, right? I know myself. What is being known is myself. But it is not disagreed upon the fact that I don't know myself perfectly, right? But here, what we do is we can grant that I know everything about myself. If I knew everything about myself,
Why would I grant that?
True. Listen, let me finish. Let me finish. This is exactly why I'm qualifying, because your dumbass doesn't understand the difference between me qualifying something
grant an impossibility.
and me stating something. Let me finish. We would say that me, myself, I don't know exactly everything about myself to the absolute T, to a molecular level, right? No one disagrees with that. There's a consensus on that, right? But what I do actually agree with is that if I know myself, and I perfectly knew myself, then it would very much be the case that that it is identical, meaning the knower, identical to what is being known. Thus, regardless whether this point matters to you or not, I disagree with the premise, because I disagree that for all x, if x is the knower, then x is distinct from what is known within the content, because God, let me finish, if we substitute God here, then it wouldn't follow, and that proposition would be false.
I'm asking one question. I'm going to ask
you
you one question. It's going to send you on a complete tangent. I'm predicting it. One
question.
Anthony, Did you tell me that knowing is distinct from known? The act of knowing in God is distinct from known?
I told you that God, knowing himself.
Yes or no?
And what is known, God knowing
yes or
himself.
no, please. So we don't yell over each other. Yes or no?
Just repeat your question, bro.
Okay. Yes or no? It's a true dichotomy. You either told me this or you didn't. Okay? Even if you you meant it in a different way, you qualified. If it's not that. Okay, good. Did you tell me God's active knowing is distinct from the content of knowledge which is known?
And by that, are you referring to God, what he knows specifically?
Himself, yes. Anything. That can actually be general, actually. Yeah. It says active knowing.
I don't understand the question. Sorry, it doesn't make sense.
Is God's active knowing going to be distinct from the content of knowledge which is known?
From the content of which is known? Yeah, of course. And I'll give you an example, right? So, for example, God, let me qualify so you don't straw man. Yeah, like what God knows, we're going to say that it is the majority of the time it's going to be the case that which God knows something, it is not going to be the case that he's identical to it, right? So, for example, I am a content that is found within God's knowledge, meaning that God knows who I am, and I am not identical to God. Therefore, here in this explicit example, Anthony, God is the knower, and that which is known is NS, and therefore NS is not God, and therefore your example doesn't follow.
Good, okay. So his active knowing is only distinguished from the content of knowledge which is known in specific instances in that case? Sure, I'll grant that. I'm asking about the actual general axioms. In God, is knowing something going to be distinct from the thing that is known? In God generally, I'm not talking about particular instances. The general axiom, because this is a general question. I'm not saying in this particular instance.
Which one?
That's what I'm asking. I want to see if you establish this as an axiom. Does God's active knowing, is that going to be distinguished from what's known as a general rule?
Okay. When you say general rule, I'm going to qualify here, right? God, everything he knows, that which he knows that is founded on the content of the knowledge of him being the knower, that is going to be distinct from except himself. Except.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So I'm not done. I'm almost done. Therefore, God knowing everything, we're going to understand that he's the knower, and what is being known is distinct except for him knowing himself, because him knowing himself to the T, it's going to be the case that it follows that what is known and the knower are identical. Every other case, it does not follow. Do you understand?
Okay, good. So because he's going to know himself to its fullest extent, the rule gets abolished. Why couldn't you say he knows himself to the fullest extent, and the only distinction now would be know versus knowing? Why are you now collapsing?
Wait, I just told you. I just added that.
Your justification was that. Hold on. Let me clarify, Apex.
Because I'm not going anywhere. Oh my!
Here's what specifically I'm asking. You're panicking again.
I'm panicking. I'm asking you to bring the syllogism.
Watch. Apex. Is God's active knowing going to be distinct from known? You said yes in those particular instances, except when he knows himself, because he knows himself to the T. Why couldn't he know himself to the T and thus have sameness in one category and distinction in the other? That distinction would be what you already conceded, which is that generally God's knowledge is going to be distinct from that which is the act of knowing.
Dude, I agree with you, Agan, and let me qualify. I completely agree. That is, I'll tell you. Listen. Carefully understand what I am telling you. Okay? I am telling you that I agree with the very idea that generally it is the case that which is being taken right now, what is being examined, that God himself, he knows everything, and what is in the set of him knowing it, theoretically, we're going to say that God himself, knowing all of these things, nothing is identical to what is being known to God except for God knowing himself.
No, I'm not asking about the particular instances. I'm just asking,
dude,
is the known identical to the knowing?
It depends.
Not in particular instances. Good. So now you say it depends. You know why you're saying it depends?
I said it depends the whole time.
What's the argument? What's the argument? Okay, what's the argument now that God knowing himself, even to the absolute T, because I agree with that. He knows himself to the absolute T. Why does that force now knowing to be identical to known? Why does that force that?
No, look, it does not completely shift the principle that direction.
But does it force an identity?
I understood.
Yes or no? Does it force the identity there? Does it force the identity?
Dude, it is not completely forced.
God, if it doesn't completely force it in the case of God knowing himself, watch this. Watch this. If it doesn't
allow me to respond. Dude, I'm literally a guest in your server. Let me respond. No, I didn't. You're constantly cutting me off. This is looking terrible.
Apex, here's the conclusion. Here's the conclusion from here. Yes, I will. Here's the conclusion from what you just told me. If you're saying even in the case where God is knowing himself and the content of knowledge which is known, even in that case, it's not going to collapse in absolute identity. You said that by your own words. There's still going to be discernibility there, even in God knowing himself. Then you applied identity.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so it is identical.
Dude, this is why you have to let me qualify. Because you constantly comment and you're constantly over-speaking me.
Go ahead.
Okay? Muzzle yourself. Okay?
Go ahead.
So, God, we say that the principle that which the knower and what is known is distinct. This applies to things that are not himself. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean. Okay? The domain in which this applies is the domain in which everything that which exists except God himself, right? And then the domain for which God, or for which the knower is what is known, is going to be the domain of God himself and only God. Meaning that God, let me finish, this means that God is the only thing that which is the knower, and him knowing himself creates the fact that the content of what is known is himself, which does not create a discernibility. It is an indiscernibility. Therefore, in this...
Why is this Kafir talking, bro?
Dude, I'm almost done. Okay? And every other thing that which we bring to the example, for example, God knows everything. If we take away the fact of him knowing himself, then he is not identical to anything that which is known. Do you understand?
I agree. So this is why I asked that question. Good. This is why I asked that question. That in that specific case of God knowing and God being known, in that specific case, now I'm talking about the action and the content. Do they now become identical? Clear yes, right? The knowing and known becomes identical when it's introspective.
Wait, dude, I don't believe God knowing himself is an action.
Okay, you said it's active. Let's use that word. Is that
Like
active
what?
knowing?
How is it an
Is that
action
active?
anyway, dude?
Is that active knowing? Is that active knowing identical to that which is known in that particular
What is
instance
it?
where God is introspective?
Act of knowing? What do you mean by
Answer
that?
the active. That's what I've been saying the whole time. Is
Okay,
the active
listen.
knowing?
Listen.
Apex, I didn't finish my question. Apex, I didn't finish my question. Is the active knowing identical to the content of knowledge which is known in this particular case where God knows himself?
Dude, I don't believe that the act of knowing is identical to God. Okay?
Is it? Wait.
I'm
Active
asking
knowing
you.
and the
I'm
content
asking
of
you.
knowledge.
Oh my goodness.
That's not my question. That's not my question.
Your literal question was, is
Repeat
God,
it.
or is the act of knowledge here specifically identical to what is being known, correct?
Yes, the active knowing.
Okay,
The
so
active.
you are not tracking. I'm literally tracking what you're saying. So stop talking and muzzle yourself. You don't have to
I didn't
worry
say
about
act.
me tracking.
I didn't
because
say
I'm
act
all
of.
ears. I am
I
literally
didn't say
listening.
Apex. I didn't say act of. I said
Dude, you
active.
said active knowledge. Yes, active.
Yes.
Okay. Is the
So what's your
active
answer?
knowledge identical to what is being known?
In the
You-
particular
okay.
case of God. In the particular
Okay,
case of God knowing
and
himself.
By active knowledge, do you mean what he knows?
The active knowledge, him exercising knowing towards himself. Like we've been using it the
knowing
past time.
himself, is him knowing is him knowing himself the same as what is being known?
Yes.
Okay. They are ontologically reduced, but they're semantically distinct. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that means. Okay? We believe that obviously we don't believe in absolute divine simplicity, so by definition there is a distinction, but the content, the answer to both of these analogs is God, and God meaning that there's an ontological reduction of the following